The pandemic has revealed terrible inequities in society. And here's one that particularly shocked me.
What you're watching right now is the final cut of a documentary I helped Francesca produce. This semester I worked for Planet Forward, and my main task was to assist Francesca in producing a short documentary for Comcast. I wanted to sit down with her and discuss what the process was like and what we learned from it. Neither one of us had produced a documentary before, so it was a big learning experience for us both.
My film focused on Green Bronx Machine, which is a nonprofit based in the Bronx, which focuses on empowering young people to eat healthier and be more engaged in schools through classroom gardening. Big thing was first picking a topic to focus on within food insecurity, and so I came up with around 3 or 4 pitches to the Planet Forward team, and then they were like, Francesca, Green Bronx Machine, that's your topic. Which I think it really stood out to them. So once I did that, I had to actually contact Steven and his team out of the blue, and luckily Steven replied to me with a very excited response, which was really great. And then after that, I think me and Steven just had to work together to pinpoint what kind of narrative we wanted to create, and I had to see who I'd be allowed to interview and what would be safe. And so once we set up those interviews and those questions, then it was a matter of piecing together like the different interviews and narratives into one set overarching theme. Used camera, tripod, mic. Also we used virtual equipment. We used Zoom and recording Zoom, Premiere Pro. So there's the basic kinds of camera equipment. I think the most challenging part was first taking it on by myself because for most video projects it's usually a team. There's at least producer, someone who films, someone who edits, someone who actually participates in the film. And I think at first that would have all been me, which would have been a lot to do all of that at once. And so I think really enlisting the help of Heidi helped a ton with my project because I was able to have someone hands-on be able to film me, help me guide my narrative, give me tips and advice to improve my video skills. And so I think taking it on by myself was probably the most challenging part, but once I had another friend to help me, it made the process a lot more fun and easier.
I would agree that working on this project was a lot of fun, but I also learned a lot about filmmaking. The top 3 things I learned were 1, you'll learn as you go. There were a few things that Francesca and I weren't familiar with, such as writing a script, but after asking for help, we were able to figure it out. Secondly, you probably won't use about 90% of the footage you film, and that's okay. It's best to have too much footage to work with than not enough. And lastly, I learned that every story needs to have a strong character and an overarching theme. In this case, the overarching theme was food insecurity, and the character was the Green Bronx Machine. It made for a compelling story and truly engaged the audience with the film.